So you've won the battle this day, the battle of the basement, if you would like. The sickles have been dropped to the ground. Old, good old, Gnertwith is muffled and probably tied arms and legs behind his hands behind his back here. He's been injured. They cut into his side. He doesn't have his jug with the X's on it anymore though, and he does seem drunk though.
Thaddeus is going to pick him up and shake him and be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
He's muffled with a gag.
I know. I totally understand that. I'm doing it because I feel like it.
He muffles something.
He'll take the gag out and be like, "Are you?" And like stop shaking him and be like, "Are you okay?"
Good gods, fellow, what happened here? There's all these rapscallions keeping you hostage here? What's going on?
Oh, it's awful. I wandered down this way, and I don't know why. I was just dead. And I thought maybe there'd be they could lick that door again. And then I licked a different door, and then these guys surrounded me outside. And they hit me and dragged me down here. And I got a bunch of rope. And then they didn't give me more booze. And then they kept going on about the Germa Kerbobo or something. And and then you guys come down here. What a turn of the luck, I suppose. You could untie these ropes, maybe? I'm a bit tied up at the moment. This ain't the kind of evening I expected.
I'll work on the ropes.
Thaddeus is going to look at him in like a paternal way and be like, "Have you learned your lesson about drinking too much before we let you go?"
I thought I learned my lesson about licking doors, but so far, no. And I have to ask, you got any rum on you? Just so I can forget this whole thing?
No, you've gotten too much from us. Sorry.
What we got's here. Is this some barrels of old Applejack? It is.
Thaddeus is going to take him. Thaddeus is going to pick him up unceremoniously and like shove him towards the stairs.
So I'll move you here to do that. You shove him this way. Oh, come on! Ain't no one drinking this fine Applejack. I might
you don't have a
swig.
You don't need more drink tonight. He's going to literally like push him up the stairs.
You like push him toward the ladder. I'm going to move you over here.
Yeah.
Fine then. The green dragon it is. He climbs up the ladder and departs. And apparently goes to the green dragon.
Thaddeus like tries to shut the trap door and lock and like shut it so he can't get back in here.
You definitely shut it. It doesn't have a lock.
Right. He's like trying to get him to not drink so much tonight.
Well, so far so good.
Yes, probably.
Anything else you'd like to do here?
I started going through the bodies, trying to see if they have any information, any goods, money, whatever on them.
No money whatsoever. They have these weird robes, so I'll put this in the chat. Weird gray lavender robes and worm mass ×5 plus sickles.
I will say Thaddeus is a little upset that they like kind of almost killed him, so he's gonna kick a few of them a couple times, even though they're dead.
You do so. They twitch a little bit, and that's about it.
Yep. He feels better for it. He knows it doesn't do anything.
Well, I say, Pharaoh, it seems that these strange worshippers of this foreign god have accosted the estates of your fair great-uncle. Do you know why they may have chosen his abode in particular?
He hadn't been around for a while, possibly, but I really can't say. I was trying to take one of them alive, but, that ain't happening.
Thaddeus butts in. He goes, "Was your uncle a cultist?"
Not that I know of.
Just checking.
I mean, if he was, then maybe I am. Oh, crud.
I think to be a cultist, you have to follow the rhetoric, if you would. If they're new to you, I'd imagine you'd not be aware of what the goings abouts are.
Yeah.
All right.
That makes sense.
Thaddeus is concerned about his companion, so he's going to do an insight check to make sure he's not a cultist.
Check he's on the up and up.
Go ahead
Yep.
and roll that. 14.
I don't know what 14 gets me.
He doesn't seem like a cultist, but do you really know
Cool.
him that well?
He's secretly
I'll
he's
take
a
that.
sleeper agent. We're gonna hear a code name come out, and then Ferris is gonna eyes are gonna light up green. He's gonna pull a sickle out of his pack or something.
Oh, you also found a brass lantern, by the way, and a flask of oil, lamp oil.
Ah, okay.
That's
Can we
that's what's
pick
giving
up?
light
Can we pick up the hooded lantern?
Or the hooded? It's a hooded brass lantern. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
I can have you move it real quick. That's a thing you can have. So let me give you access to it, and then you will be able to move it specifically. I have to go through the controls here. I'll just hit all players, so you guys can move the lantern now.
All right. I am going to also take a look around this entire basement area to see if there's anything that could be found, clues, whatnot, as to why these guys were here.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
go ahead and make a perception check.
Matthias do the same. He says, that, there is wares kept here, so he has to have at least passed through here in some kind of recent days.
There's
Sure.
The rolls are not with me today.
Not so much. You don't find anything of note. You don't find anything of note. But Matthias, as he's kind of looking around, he notices that there's a faint, just an ever so faint, like breeze, and it's not coming from the stairs. It's like making your mustache kind of move just slightly, twitch a little bit. You think it's coming from beyond these big kegs over here. Maybe, just maybe, there's something back there. Although you have to squeeze to get back there.
Thaddeus, unlike the others, is going to start trying to drink from this, whatever this is over here.
Grab me a flagon if you would, my good Thaddeus.
There's some flagons nearby, and apparently it's not Applejack. This appears to be some sort of dark ale. By the look of it, it has a label on the side. It says brown ale, and then a symbol of some sort of keep. Most likely in the borderlands.
Thaddeus will fill 2 flagons and hand one to Matthias and start drinking.
On the side of the barrels, it says, "If it's brown, drink it down."
As he grabs his flagon, he will say, "My companions, I think these old whiskers have betrayed the secrets of these fellows that dared accost us here. Behind those kegs there's something, a draft, as if there's a passage. Say, help me."
Can I attempt to push them apart?
Well, they're really heavy and full of brown ale. There's some space over the top of them, if you'd like to squeeze on top of them, though, and examine the area behind it.
Yeah, I'll try that.
I'll give you a leg up. Come on. And I'll put my hands so that way you could, climb on top of them.
Like, you're laying flat on top of them and looking around.
Question. How tall are these kegs? Because he's almost 7 foot tall.
Well, you're sideways, so you're
you're laying flat on top.
Yeah.
Of them.
The ceiling down here is 9 feet tall. The kegs are like 7 feet tall, so you barely have any space. But
sure,
just enough. Effectively, it's also not a ceiling.
I have to do what kind of check to figure out where this is?
Make an investigate check, because there's a wooden wall back here, which is kind of unusual. You would expect
awesome. I have a +0 to intelligence, so we'll see how this goes. Hey, okay.
Well, guess what? It seems to you it's odd that there's a wooden wall back here. Plus, you're pretty sure you can slide part of this wooden wall to the south. Like it's a not well hidden wooden wall. Like there's a door here.
He tends to prefer to kick it, just kick the wooden wall in.
Well, it looks like it does that. And by kicking it, you manage to open it slightly, and then
sweet.
You can open it the rest of the way if you want to continue sliding it, revealing a hidden passage.
Yeah, I'll do that.
There's something hidden back here. You find a big white 15. No, you don't. That's just a marker on the map here.
That is Yellow Hero. Hey, did your uncle like secret passages?
I keep telling you, I don't know. I've never been to this place.
Well then, the mystery deepens, Thea says with a nod, and then he'll chug the flagon of brown ale that he has, put it on one of these boxes, the empty tankard, and they'll be like,
It's a little stale, but it's a very moderate ale, not high quality, but not low quality, but also stale.
Thaddeus will say to Pharaoh, he'll be like, I think you need to learn more about your family, and then he'll crawl through the passage.
Look, all he ever did was just come by the house every once in a while, and I really didn't enjoy it that much at the house even, so I was always around outside the city to explore.
That's fine. That's fair.
Let's just hope he's not found himself in accompaniment with these foul folk that we've stumbled upon here today.
Thaddeus is going to say, hey, we might need that hooded lantern.
On it.
Grab the lantern. You should be able to move it, by the way. I want to point out of game real quick. This map is not something I created. This is created by a guy who goes by the Reclusive Cartographer. You can look up his stuff online. I'll put it in the chat here if you guys want to look up his map.
Reclusive Cartographer. That is such a name.
That's his name.
Sounds nice.
Cartographer. I use his maps once in a while once I come across them. But this is just one of them he's done. He's done.
I have grouped the lantern, so I'm moving it with me.
There you go. So you get back here in a little earthen chamber with some loose rocks. And back here you find what appears to be a sack of something.
Well, let's take a look here.
Well, you want to look in that sack?
Yes.
Give it a look.
Inside the sack you find bars of silver and a couple of electrum pieces and a whole bunch of copper pieces. Let me say that. Oh, is this going to work? Oh, the thing isn't working. I was going to do the womp womp thing, and it's just not working. Wait, there it goes. These copper pieces better than nothing, right? The silver looks like it's worth something a bit more. Looks like Discord was having a bit of an issue there. Now, you find a sack of the following. I'll put it in the chat here. Some coinage. AP. There are 17 bars of silver.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there were 20 gold pieces each. And yeah, they're each weighs. Oops, let me put this in here. Each weighs 4 pounds. So something.
And there's nothing else, and it's like a small chamber. There's nothing else in this chamber.
No, it's an earthen chamber. It looks like it wasn't fully dug out. It just kind of has like a little ramp right here that goes nowhere, like an earthen ramp. Like maybe they were going to finish digging, but never did.
I will not press it, but I will double the wah 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 wah.
Does this look like the digging was done recently, or does this look like this is something that my uncle had been digging out and had hidden this here?
Make an investigation check to determine that as you examine the area in a inspector-like manner. I see Joe's roll from earlier.
Nah, probably not.
Not as far as you can tell. It's hard for you to tell, but the rest of the other two of you could roll that as well if you'd like. Examine the chamber.
Oh, I got my good investigation check, so this is going to go badly.
Well, it did actually. You just casually look around and you're like, For Matthias, you've been in a few holes before. It looks like a hole, really poor dwarf would live in, or a mine. Your guess, this has probably been here a while, and it doesn't look like it was dug recently, but that's your best guess.
Yeah, see, the dirt seems to be fairly caked deep. The layers seem to be more compacted and not as disturbed. This may have been a storage, more secretive of his more lucrative wares, as opposed to his,
I'm not sure if this is, what my, uncle was hiding, or if it was what these cultists were hiding. But, I think we'll take this and, We'll go store it at my parents' house.
Anything if we come across your uncle once again, we can let him know we kept it in safe watch, since it seems there's these cultists coming upon his vicinity in these recent days.
Yeah, I go through and take the coins and write a note out also to my uncle, which I'll go eventually to slide under his front door there, saying that, hey, we had some cultists break into your basement. This is your nephew, Pharaoh Wetkin, and we're taking this stuff over to the parents' place.
You leave a note. There's a
Yes.
lesson here. It's called always leave a note.
Mm.
If you've ever watched Arrested Development, it's a big deal. If you don't, a man with a fake arm will lose his arm. If you haven't
Always,
watched that
And
show, that's not funny. But if you have watched that show, it's hilarious.
and then
Always leave
I
a note.
say to the other two, hey, can you help me pull these bodies out of here? I don't want to leave them in the basement.
put them back in the yard. I'll let the local guard know to collect these cadavers. These
Yep.
thugs decided
They're
to
upstairs.
come upon our locale here.
Yep,
Oh,
haul them up the
I
ladder.
guess if you request, I will. But I'm gonna kick them the entire way up.
That's
Kick
fine.
them up the stairs. In a sec, I gotta modify the level of the map they're on, so they can be moved. And there's probably another one right here. Okay, so we'll bring you guys upstairs real quick, including said bodies and whatnot. Let me drag you, oops, including the little 9 symbol apparently. And it's going to go black for a second as I switch you guys to the GM level just to transfer you. And then I drag everything over to westward. Let's see if it works. I managed to find the slider thing again, even though it's moderately invisible. I'm still moving you guys over. And almost here. Okay, put you on the map here. Well, some bodies. One by one, let me transfer you over. Actually, I got Joe over so far. Give me a minute. I want to transfer my DM notes as well. Okay, so you should all be on the map here. I'll say Pharaoh's right there. And you manage, we have an extra Pharaoh. We don't need an extra one. All right, so you guys come out and you bring the bodies out. It brings you back outside here. Again, the day is growing longer out here, but it's not quite sunset as of yet. But the sun will set soon. What would you like to do at this point?
I'd like to go around, check all the windows to make sure they're all boarded up and
There was one that
locked.
wasn't, I'll note. There was the one
Yeah.
over here that wasn't, but you could check them. There's an
Uh,
upstairs. There's an upstairs as well, but it does have windows.
yeah, I'll take a look through the upstairs windows if I can climb a bit there to take a look, as well as checking the back door to see if it's locked, and also the shed.
So you check well, you look around the house. It looks like just looking around the house. It looks like all the windows are boarded, save for the one by the front door. The shed itself appears to have a lock on it, and then there's obviously the kiln as well. Now there's also a back door. I'll note the back door, if I can ping it, is right there. Would you like to do anything there?
I test the handle of that back door as well.
A voice or a mouth appears and says something similar. Go away! Trespassers will be disintegrated! Very similar than the front door, or to the front door. The door appears to be locked.
Okay. Can I do an easy climb up the side of the building to look in through any of the other windows or anything like that?
You can. I'll note that they all appear to be boarded up on the
Okay.
outside. Although there's a roof above you. It's like a portico roof or like a, or not a portico roof. It's like a
Could it be a flat roof? No, it's not actually. There's a little bit of an overhang. It's like over this area right here. That ping there. But there are some windows like this first section over here. I'm trying to ping the general. Let me use the arrow tool here. This area here just has a kind of a roof above it, a flat roof. The upstairs is over the main part of the building, which is kind of like all the southern part of the building. Now, from what you can tell, just looking from the ground, all the other windows upstairs are boarded. You could go up there if you want, but you have to make an athletics check to try to climb up there.
Did we already check the shed real quick? Let me have a quick look.
It appears to be locked.
Oh.
It has a lock, a keyhole at least. But as they say in Middle Earth, if there's a lock, perhaps there's a key. Or something similar.
Well, I'm concerned because we see that if it were truly completely left alone from when they departed, all the windows would be boarded the same, and these doors, the doors are still locked and with the accompanying deterrents and such, but that one was left unboarded. Should we attempt an entry in to make sure these cultists didn't make their way in and then close it behind them?
So you kind of Thaddeus and
Thaddeus-
come over here. There's like a little locking mechanism inside the window here, and it's on the bottom. You kind of looking at it, and I'll let you make an intelligence check when you look at it. What are you saying, by the way?
I was just going to say, Thaddeus is going to look over at Pharaoh and be like, do you mind if I try and climb through the window? But I'm guessing I'm going to make an intelligence check. Straight intelligence?
Intelligence check to examine the window. It's a window. It's closed. It's locked on the inside. What are you going to do here?
Do I see around here any of the boards that I'm guessing it would have been boarding this thing up?
Yeah, in a pile of empty barrels here, there's a couple of boards that clearly have some nails in them. And also a crowbar laying amongst that pile. Not even disguised, it's just sitting there on the ground.
Okay. I take the crowbar and I'll add that to my inventory.
Free crowbar.
Thaddeus is gonna pull out his crowbar and attempt to break the window.
Don't break the window. Let's see if we can actually just jimmy this thing open.
Do you want to try to use a crowbar to jimmy it open, or do you want to use something else?
A bit of finesse before we go with our charge and brute through from Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is going to wait to see if anybody else can open it, otherwise he's going to smash it.
Before we do any of that, I'm going to kind of put my ear to the window and see if I can hear anything at all, possibly inside the house.
Which window would you like to go to?
We'll start with the one that isn't boarded.
So make a perception check. Now you're at disadvantage because you're listening through a solid surface. Who knows though? Let's see what you get. So re-roll because you have disadvantage. Otherwise, it would have been a great roll. There's a way to turn disadvantage and advantage on at the top of your sheet, by the way, but it's usually not turned on. Just click it. Just click the perception button again. Oh, yep. You rolled the 22. Well, as luck might have it, or as they say in Greyhawk, as Rudd may have it. You listen carefully, and you don't hear anything specific in that next room. But for just a second, you swear you heard the creak of boards from above this room here.
All right. Sounds like someone or something's in there. We got to check it out. And I'm going to be owing my uncle some money if we break this window.
We'll give it a good test with that bar there. We may be able to undo the latch, maybe.
Oh, Thaddeus is all over this. He's going to swing at it with the crowbar.
Go ahead and roll to hit. You're attacking an object, in this case, a glass window.
So,
just roll.
How do I do that with the crowbar?
Roll a d20 and just add your strength mod to it.
Okay.
Hit the
sounds good.
Glass.
All right. 20.
Glass. Roll 1d4 plus your strength mod for damage. It's an improvised weapon, effectively. You shatter the glass.
Wait. If it's an improvised vest, and no, never mind. I didn't take the town brawler.
You effectively broke the window, and now it's just broken glass, and you can just climb in there. It's technically difficult terrain, but you're not in combat.
Sure.
And, you've gained access, the old-fashioned way, into the workshop. Now,
He'll be like, to Pharaoh, he'll be like, I'll leave a gold piece somewhere.
Just randomly.
Yeah, on a workbench or something for the glass.
So you're looking around, there's some workbenches in here, and that's what you could see at least. Anything else you'd like to do in here? Well, I mean, you're outside still.
Well, Thaddeus is definitely going to climb through if he broke the window.
Yeah, you can climb through.
Make sure that this estate is maintained. There's somebody in there. We gotta make sure that they're not a robber of some kind.
Step in here, and you swear as you step in for Thaddeus, you hear movement from under this table.
Did I lose a hood lantern somewhere?
Oh, I don't think I brought it up here. Oh, no, it's outside. It's outside. Here, you have it back now.
Okay, because I was like, I should have the hood lantern because I was bringing it up.
Interesting.
With me, so.
On a table over here, there's a worm-like creature in a jar that's wiggling around. Also, all of you swear you heard movement from under the clutter under this table here.
Thaddeus is going to be like to Pharaoh, I see a worm. Are you sure your uncle wasn't into some sort of cult behavior?
It's wiggling around.
No.
These cultists must have broken in before us. Quickly, and I'll put my hand out to pull Pharaoh into the through the window.
I guess Thaddeus is going to investigate what's underneath the table because he hears the noise.
Something scurries from, well, since you look down there, it scurries out from the other side of the table. It's a small creature. Let me see here. It looks kind of like a gremlin type thing. Not the car. Like a little wing. It's got little wings, and it's only like 2 feet tall, and it kind of hops about. I'm gonna let you guys make an Arcana check. It's scurrying about, and it's not making any noise. Just moving quickly. It scurries to there. Thaddeus does not know what that is, but the other two of you guys can roll that. It makes a noise, but it's like not a language. It's not breathing. It appears to be made of some sort of clay. Now, Matthias sees what that is. That's a homunculus, which is a tiny construct that some spellcasters tend to create. It's like a little assistant type thing. It's about a little bigger than a normal house cat, but it doesn't quite look like a house cat. I can show you a picture of one if you guys aren't familiar with a homunculus.
A mage's companion. You said your great uncle participated in spellcraft and the like, correct, Pharaoh?
Yeah, he was doing spells every once in a while when I saw him, kind of thing, but I didn't know particular what he did. I mean, he always had dirt on him.
Well, that worm just doesn't sit right with me over there.
It's kind of what
Thaddeus is going to get on the table and then throw a dart at the homunculus.
What are you doing?
You have advantage from the height of the table. You throw a dart and you hit the homunculus. It makes a squealing noise at best. Go ahead and roll damage. 7 damage. You throw that basically through its mouth and kill it before it can do anything. Poor little thing. It's dead.
He was just trying to kind of scare it, but apparently he killed it. So
instead, you got a really lucky roll, and that's how that cookie crumbled. Now, it wasn't a very threatening creature. You each get 3 XP from the homunculus. There you go.
I'm not entirely sure. That might have belonged to my uncle.
Thaddeus drops a gold piece on the table for the window and what he feels the homunculus is worth.
That is, you really should visit the confession booth when you have a second. You're quick to the draw these days. You have to give it a second.
It looked evil.
I won't disagree with that, my good companion. That seems...
He claims.
Alright then, I say as I pick up the jar with the worm thing in it.
The thing is moving around in that jar, but the jar is sealed. It's moving around in a really weird way. Go ahead and make another Arcana check. I assume you're still giving off light, by the way.
Yeah, I still have it all light put on my shield. Alright. 19.
This is no ordinary worm. As you examine it more closely, and it's constantly trying to like suck at the glass. It's some sort of aberrant worm. You've read some text about creatures from beyond the material world. This looks like a slade worm. Something you might encounter in, say, the outer planes, and apparently bring back as a memento. Might be a reason this thing is sealed. You don't know that much about it other than that. You've seen it like a schematic of one in a book.
Do we have to roll to know if we know about the outer planes?
You could make an Arcana check about that as well if you'd like. Although it's commonly, at least vaguely, known about. I mean,
apparently I know about the outer planes.
You believe the outer planes are a real thing and not just something wizards and clerics talk about, but a place that, well, apparently you can actually go, because that's where various creatures like, well, demons and devils and angels and everything in between, and beast lords. That's a new thing that they brought out in the new Monsters Manual. A beast lord. It's like an animal. Well, it's an animal lord, is what it's called. They're from there too. All kinds of powerful creatures are said to be from those places, and you've heard many a tale of such things, especially at the monastery. They warned you against creatures from beyond the world and how very real they are. Note, by the way, as you look to the right, there's a ledger on this table here.
Yeah. I'll wrap the jar in some kind of towel or cloth and then put it in my backpack. I'm like, well, that's not a very good sight.
Just leave it here. It's not doing anything while it's trapped in the jar.
We should find out if anyone knows of this thing being localized, or if there's been multiple sightings of them. Those cultists were speaking about the worms,
They were speaking about worms, but going through... I don't know. Either way, my character begins to look through the ledger.
Gotcha. You look through the ledger. By the way, this fire pit is not lit, although there looks to be some fresh ashes in there. There's a wooden door here and a set of stairs that heads upstairs. You examine the ledger and what might be inside of it. As you go through it, you see that there are names written in this ledger, in a chaotic manner, all over the place, almost covering the pages. In common, it reads one name, although it's been written thousands and thousands of times. Dracolmar. Whatever.
I am stuck in the dynamic lighting of this door.
Are you stuck? Okay, let me move you. So, no, you're not. You're out now.
Thank you.
We already did the roll if I knew that name because those guys were shouting it out, and I had no idea what Krakolmar is.
Something.
Can you also move the lantern? It's stuck in the lighting too.
Here you go. Fixed it.
Thank you.
It looks like that door is not fully shut. Let me just go fix that lighting issue.
I go over to the fireplace and just hover my hand over the coals to see if there's any warmth coming off of them at all.
Mildly warm, actually. There's a little bit of warmth, just a little bit. Someone had a fire here recently.
All right, someone's here.
I'm gonna crack this door right here. If it's unlocked.
It's not locked.
Make yourself known, vagabond.
Should be able
Not
to
accost this estate any further. As I, assume there's someone just waiting behind here.
We'll see. You want to open it? Or I can open it for you, either way.
Yeah.
Oops, is it not letting me open it?
Yeah, I tried to open it too. It wasn't working.
Oh, that's weird. Okay. It's weird. It's
There you go.
acting up. Maybe it may be a glitch with the new system they have here. All right. Well, anyways, you open it and you find this sort of back chamber, back room, and all that. It's actually the kitchen of this place. We're on the map here. There's some bread on the table and a jar filled with worms and a silver dagger. This jar is filled with worms. By the way, the silver dagger is considered a common magic item right now, just so you know. Silver weapons.
Thaddeus is going to turn to Pharaoh and be like, we seem to be finding a lot of jars of worms here. Are you sure your uncle was not into Krakolm?
I'm sure there's somebody here that's into worms now. As for if it was my uncle or not, I can't say, considering the fact that there were a bunch of damn cultists in his house, or under it.
By the way, all this food stuff on the crates here, there's fresh fruit up here. Fresh food stuffs stored here. Sausages and apples and jars of apple butter and other such things. A lot of apple products for some reason. Dried apples. They had Applejack downstairs.
Well, best to be ready for the strange magics. I'm sure that their implements may serve us value should we come into contact with the foul incantations.
All right.
Stow away the silver dagger.
There you go. Another thing like a memento.
So even more of these worms. I wonder if they're planting them somewhere. Putting them in things.
I try opening up this door here that I'm next to.
It's not locked. I'll open it for you. Oh, it looks like it will let you open it.
Yep.
There is a skeletal figure in those weird robes that are like gray and lavender with a weird worm hat laying dead on the carpet here in what appears to be a storeroom, again full of fresh food. A lot of fresh food, even fresh bananas.
I look at this and I'm like, don't eat any of the food. If they're sticking the worms in the food, I really don't want it tested. And I carefully, slowly approach the skeleton with the hatchet out, or the hand axe, to see if this thing is alive or going to come alive.
Wait,
it's a little too late. He said wait as it starts moving, not the skeleton, but the rug, which is clearly not just a rug that ties the room together. It has false appearance, so technically you're kind of surprised. It just gets advantage on its initiative in this case. Let me clear this other initiative order, and now you got to deal with this. Because the rug is, well, fine quality, so much so that it's moving on its own. The rug rolled decent for initiative. I got a 19.
Yeah.
Guess what kind of rug it is?
Mimic?
No, it's not forming any teeth. I don't know why, but it's not showing up its nameplate or anything. Let's see, token level. That's weird. All right.
Out of character wise, I'm guessing this is like a one of those strangling rugs or whatever.
One of those things, kind of thing you might get in a planar bazaar in Sigil or anywhere there's a wizard. But yet it's here in this chamber, and it immediately, well, they rolled the highest initiative. So before you can do anything else as you step forward, I'll note, by the way, you're still concentrating on Hunter's Mark. It hasn't been more than an hour.
Yes.
It is whipping around, kind of knocking the skeleton off itself. Clearly, it already had a victim. So I'll just move the skeleton over here as it moves around and tries to grab at you and smother you. And it gets that's not good for you. A 22 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
So guess what? Here's the rug. It's also kind of moving forward to there slowly. And it's going to, on top of doing bludgeoning damage, you're going to be grappled and it's going to be surrounding you in an uncomfortably tight manner. Let me see here. Roll some damage. I rolled low, luckily for you. 6 bludgeoning damage. Now, you will be, it's wrapping around you, so you're grappled under the grappling condition. Instead of doing damage, well, hold on a second here, and the rug can give the, oh no, so it gets a choice actually. So it's not going to do damage. So take that back. It gets the damage or it does grapple. I'm going to do the grapple here. So it's wrapping itself around you until the grapple ends. The target is blinded and restrained, and is suffocating. And you'll take damage at the start of your turns instead. Only one person can be smothered at a time. While grappled, the rug can't take this action again unless it releases it. And the rug halves the damage it takes from anyone else, and you take the other half. So it's like surrounding you, and that's all it does is grapples you and restrains you.
All right.
Now, when it does that, and I'm going to note it's kind of like right here and like in the middle of the room, right there. Thaddeus's turn. Look at that rug.
Thaddeus is concerned if he hits the rug or stabs the rug, he will stab his companion. So can he do some sort of check to figure that out?
It looks, you don't have to make a check. It's pretty obvious that's what's going to happen. It's tight. It's so tight around him so quickly. You're worried, very much so, and for good reason. You might actually hit Pharaoh. But then again, maybe there's something else you could do here. Maybe.
Well,
Can we break him out?
You could try. You can try to break the grapple for him. Essentially, you make an acrobatics check against its DC.
Okay, I will. If I'm getting that for free because I have low intelligence, I will take that.
This will be right there. You got to step 5 feet forward, though. You basically.
Oh yeah. But if I'm getting free knowledge that I have to make an acrobatics check, I will take that and move forward.
Athletics, by the way. Athletics. Sorry, I kind of already revealed what it's going to do, anyways. But yeah, pretty sure you can try to rip it off him. Make an athletics check in this case, assuming you have a hand.
Well, that's unfortunate. I have a much better acrobatics. But all right, I'll try.
Strength prevails.
Yeah, knew that was going to happen.
Trying to rip this thing off your friend, and it does not give. Anything else?
Yeah.
There's an action, by the way.
Yeah, I got that. No, because Thaddeus knows if he tries to hit it with his martial arts, it'll probably hurt his companion.
Pharaoh is inside the rug.
I guess since I didn't strike it, I could step back. So.
Yep, you step back.
I try. Am I able to attack with my hand axe from inside this rug?
You can. You're at disadvantage. Now, I'm going to say because I rolled the 6 damage before, at the start of your turn, you take that 6 damage now. So it's crushing you, and you're already kind of hurt. You can attack it, but again, you're at disadvantage. Tightness of this rug. It's awful.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to try and hack at this rug to get it off of me.
Give it a go. Awkwardly, you could barely get the hand axe to move. You don't think you damaged it.
All right.
Awkward. Anything else? Oh, and make a concentration check.
Yeah. Nope. No longer.
Concentration due to the pain of being crushed alive by this horrible rug. Anything else from Pharaoh?
That'll be it for now.
Matthias's turn. What do you got?
Unhand my companion, you foul tapestry! And Matthias will walk up and attempt to rip Pharaoh out.
Give that a go.
Is it always acrobatics, or would it be for like? Can I do athletics?
It is athletics actually in this case because you're not the person restrained. You're trying to use force to pull it off him.
All right.
You
20.
free him from the rug. Well, essentially, what you do is you pull him out of it, so he's free, although badly injured by that, or by the rug.
You fiend, be gone with you! I raise my shield. Actually, just to be safe, let me try. I'll raise shield and I'll back away from it.
You will cause an attack of opportunity by moving back.
Yeah, why not?
Gotcha. It makes an attack against you. More awkwardly this time with a 14 to hit. I believe that will miss you.
That'll miss.
Yeah, it degrades your armor. Anything else, perhaps, that you might do? Looks like there's a gap in between the table and everything you can kind of move into.
No, I'll be like, just step away from it.
Right here.
We'll set it asunder with fire and ranged once we can get distance.
Any bonus action or anything else?
I don't think I have a bonus I could use right now. That shouldn't end my turn.
Round 2. The big rug is going to move, wiggling forward, trying to get out of the hallway here. Squeezing, by the way, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually going to dash out of the hallway, but it's dealing with difficult terrain. So it's squeezing in this spot because it's kind of partially between Pharaoh's space and Thaddeus's space. As a result, if you attack it, you have advantage, although Pharaoh can't attack from its space. It's a weird creature. That's its whole turn to move. It's not very fast. Thaddeus' turn. Again, you have advantage on the rug because it's squeezing in this case. Unless it gets a cool ability, which it didn't have.
Is there any check I could do to see if I would know if this rug would be more prone to being set on fire?
You're not sure. It is made of a fabric by the looks of it. But
there's no check I can make to see if I would know if it would be able to be set.
You can make an Arcana check to see whether what knowledge you know about rugs. Well, it does look to be made of a fabric, rather thick fabric. You don't know if they would make it vulnerable to fire or not.
All right. Well, since I'm not sure, I'll just attack it with my quarterstaff since it's not grappling anybody at the time.
You have advantage because it's squeezing.
All right. Okay. Well, I got a 9.
A terrible 9. You swing at the broadside of a barn that's squeezing a rug, and you scrape it and do no damage so far.
I am going to bonus action kick it.
That's an offhand attack or a unarmed
attack. Martial arts attack.
Yeah,
yes.
One of those.
Hiya, 19.
A 19 is a hit, or like a kick specifically.
I kick it for 5 damage.
Roll again to see if you get a crit because you do have advantage because it's squeezing.
Oh, okay. All right.
If you roll higher, go ahead and you roll 19. You 19. Kick it and damage the rug somewhat. You like kick it so hard you kick a small hole in it and tear part of it. Anything else from Thaddeus?
I'll take that. I'll be like, companions, this rug seems to want to try and smother us. We might have some trouble, and that's it.
Pharaoh's turn. I'll note you can't attack from its space, but you could move north or northwest of where you're at to make an attack. It will no longer be squeezing at that point, though.
I'm trying to determine. Do I actually have spells as a ranger at first level?
Not
beyond
first level. I know you have Hunter's Mark.
A Hunter's Mark, but the the character maker had me get some spells at the first level, and I'm trying to figure out whether or not those were properly applied.
Yeah, they changed Ranger there. So you actually have 2 prepared spells of your choice. I don't know if Hunter's Mark counts as one. I think you get that extra.
Okay.
So you do have 2 prepared spells and 2 spell slots, effectively.
Yeah, okay. And it gave me a first level spell as well, which maybe came from the sage.
Yeah, is that coming from your background? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think
That'd
so.
be Magic Initiate, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Recast of
Oh.
a spell, and you should have got some cantrips as well.
Okay. So I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Good call. It heals more than it used to. It turns out. 2d8 plus your, I'm assuming, Wisdom modifier. And you rolled pretty well there. 17. I think you're fully healed, actually. That's an action.
Just realize with your magic initiate, if it's a leveled spell, you can only use it once per long rest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Dang near max roll. That looks nice.
Because
Max,
I
it's
use
close
my
to that.
jump, and I don't get jump anymore because we haven't taken a long rest.
Anything after that, the healing of healing. Healing of wounds.
One step that way.
2 steps forward, 2 steps back. I'm just going to kind of maneuver it right there. So this is kind of the space it's in at this point, no longer squeezing.
Yep.
Anything else from your turn? Pharaoh.
That I believe is it, because the Cure Wounds was an action step. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Matthias's turn. You get your reaction back. Let me just move you by accident. Look at this rug.
Alright, so I'll try. I'll be like, as I light a flame in the hand, I'll be like, "Begone with you then, foul cloth." Try and produce flame.
You produce a flame like nobody's business and you burn this rug. It is not as flammable as you will think, though. It burns for 3 damage.
It's got some fire retardant on it.
I'm also. We recently used a bunch of these rugs. I tacked one of my groups with like 20 rugs of smothering at one point in Undermountain. They are.
Holy.
Yeah, a lot. They've won. They won the battle. It was like a whole bunch of rugs of smothering, and also 3 stone golems, and they were like 6th level, and they won the fight. It was
What?
nuts. It was nuts. I can't believe that they prevented the enemies from getting into melee so many times, and those things are all melee. They were just really, really effective. It was nuts.
Must have been Fireball City there.
They did a lot of fireballs too, and they're a very tactical group which won that battle, and it was like they should have probably died, but good rolls and a lot of strategy and well built characters, I think, is what happened. Well,
And
anyways,
that'll
this
be all
rug
for
is
the produce flame.
yeah. So that was that. It takes its turn. It attacks one of the 2 of you in melee at random. And guess what? It goes after Thaddeus, trying to make a smother attack against Thaddeus and rolling low, getting a 8, which tries to grab you ruggingly, misses. What a
Shrug it
rugged
off.
rug. You shrug it off.
Yep.
Anything else? Well, that's its turn. Sorry, Thaddeus's actual turn.
I'm going to continue beating it because I don't feel the fire is going to do as much. So I'm going to attack it with the quarterstaff first.
You go ahead, take a swing. You swing.
I'm
Does
assuming
he
that
have
it-
advantage?
No, he's
Are
not
we
flanking.
flanking?
No, you got it. I'll give it to you if you want to move over 1 space. You get the flank.
Well,
Oh.
we're
If you were right
directly
there,
across from each other.
No, that's a flank. That's a flank. I'll give you the flank if you want to step 5 feet.
Yeah, I'll step over. I didn't realize I had to step over for the flank. Whoa.
Yeah,
I
go ahead
can't.
and re-roll once you step over, and I'll give you the advantage in that case. So yeah, that's a
Oh,
flank. Complete opposite
all
side.
right. All right.
14 hits in
Somewhat
that
better.
case.
Okay.
Whacking this rug.
Hiya.
Bad rug. Knocked a
I
bunch
go-
of dirt out of it.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's still moving, but you've beaten it a bit, knocked a lot of dirt out of it, tore through it with that bludgeoning. It was just kind of old.
I'm still going to kick it again.
Feel free to kick it again.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. I can attack with, because I successfully attacked, I can burn it with fire.
Again.
Or you
Good
use
thing.
both of those for day.
Oh, no, I did. You're right. Never mind. Take that off. I already used mine for it. I'll just kick it.
With a nice kick with
23.
You flanked, so go ahead and roll again to see if you get a crit.
I'm not
23 to
that
hit,
lucky.
though, is you kick right into that rug.
4 or 5 more bludgeoning damage.
And it tears a hole in it. This rug is not in good shape. Yikes.
I'll be like, Thaddeus, not thinking, will be like, Rug, just, surrender, Rug.
It's Pharaoh's turn. You're
All
flanking.
right.
And this rug is badly damaged. No longer really tying the room together. Bum. With your advantage with the hand axe, you slice into the rug, hitting.
For another
Tear
5
it.
slashing.
Well, that's enough. You actually tear it in half and destroy the rug of smothering. This is not an easy rug to have to deal with, as such less experienced venturers of adventure. That is. You guys each get a total of 150 XP for this fight. It's quite a
Wow.
challenge, actually.
Could have just been killing each other if someone got stuck in there.
That would be rough, but you managed to pull him out. That's why it's something of a challenge.
Thaddeus wants to take a piece of the rug as a memento.
You now have a piece of a torn and no longer magical animated rug.
Is it like, does it have like a fun pattern on it?
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of
Okay.
just squares, and
Nice.
a lot of squares within squares. It's brown, brown, very, very, very brown.
Nice.
Kind of like the color of the door, chocolate brown. Well, then,
But not lickable, as we've learned.
I wouldn't lick it, but that's up to you.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to do here?
Yeah. I want to grab one apple that's on the thing and cut it open to take a look inside.
It appears to be the interior of an apple. There's no worm in there.
Okay.
And Thaddeus is gonna be like to Pharaoh, your uncle has like some crazy crap in his house.
I don't think this is my uncle. I think this is somebody that broke in and took over from my uncle.
They left a magical smothering rug here? That's kind of crazy.
Well, maybe that was my uncle.
I was gonna say they did. It seemed to have caught one of their ilk. I say.
All right, I'm gonna
This is the pantry.
See what you could deduce from the corpse.
Yeah, it looks like this guy was crushed by the rug, and all this food in here is fresh, by the way. And it's just like tons of it.
I don't know why there's so much fresh food in here, especially with that rug, but let's take a look around here to find out what's going on.
You do a perception check if you'd like. What you can see, you can perceive. You check the pantry here. You find no odd things about it, save for the skeleton, which is dead. You do find another sickle on the skeleton. No coinage or anything like that. No symbols. Plenty of food. Like this place is well kept.
Well,
It's actually reasonably clean in here too. Go ahead.
Because you said that it has a sickle, can I do like some sort of check on it to see if it's the same sickle as the other cultists or people we faced?
You can compare the two. It looks exactly the same. In fact, this guy's this guy's garments are exactly the same. He's wearing the same, same kind of clothing.
I will kick the skeleton then because I don't like these people.
You do. I'm going to move you right here so you can kick it.
Yep.
You kick its bones. It's been crushed, clearly.
It does nothing, but Thaddeus feels better.
Yes. You feel
and then to the north, is this a window or is that a door?
That's actually a window. It's boarded up outside, which is the reason why you can't see through it. And it is locked.
All right, let's take a look upstairs.
Let's see if we can get to the bottom of all this.
The bottom or the top of this, because you're going up. The stairs are over here, by the way.
Yeah, I just realized I don't have the lantern.
Oh,
I'm coming.
With it.
I try
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm like I said now. Like just because we know that these cultists very well may be still in here, I'm gonna take this one so I can present this back to the chapel later and see what they think of this.
Did we misplace the lantern?
No, it's
I got
underneath
it.
Thaddeus.
Oh, you.
I have it. I collected it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll wrap this one worm in a jar in a cloth, like a towel or something. It's still in the jar, and then I'm gonna put it in my backpack.
No worries. The others are heading upstairs. We can check the upstairs. Let me switch you over to the area to the right. I was having not moved for a second. I got to put you on the other level for a half
You
second.
got all of us? Because also make sure to bring the lantern with us so we can see.
Yes. Hold on a second. I'm dragging you over. Where? Oh, there's the lantern. It was underneath somebody. Okay.
It's underneath me. I'm
Yeah.
trying to group
Moving
it
you over.
together so I can move it easily.
So moving you over upstairly. As you come up here, you feel a little bit of warmth, surprisingly. And you note there's a fire actually burning in this little fireplace out here. It must have been burning recently because you didn't see it smoking outside. Also,
Uh,
there's a ficus on the table here. It's an ordinary houseplant.
Is the ficus still green?
It's kind of green. Um, Apparently this window is open enough that you can see through it. You didn't look at the front of the house.
Out of
Maybe I forgot to
character,
mention. This window has been opened, or at least the boards have been removed. Go ahead.
I really dislike the fact that you put down that it's an ordinary houseplant.
Isn't that odd? Ordinary.
It's too ordinary. It's
Take a
suspiciously
look at it.
ordinary.
There's a lot of wine here, and it seems like there's some books up on this shelf here, on the top of this shelf.
I do
Huh.
a perception check on said ordinary ficus plant.
It's not moving, the ficus, but go ahead and roll a check on that. Joe, as you get over these books, they all appear to be books on pottery techniques. They look kind of old and not particularly valuable. Maybe
Are they?
5 gold
They're
each.
serious. They're seriously all on pottery.
Yeah, this is a pottery shop. It's pottery,
Okay.
building kilns, pottery related subjects. As you examine the ficus does not move. It appears to be just an ordinary ficus in a nice little blue pot. The pot is covered in worm depictions, of course, but other than that,
I want to say Thaddeus is just disappointed that all of the books are about pottery.
they appear to be all of. One of them is about a wizard who's really into pottery. At least that's part of his.
Still, he's very disappointed that every single book is about pottery.
It's
The
about
fireplace is still lit,
Geraldo the Potter, a magician.
and this ficus has a plant with worm depictions all over it.
Not the plant, but the actual the pot has worm depictions on it.
I'm gonna ready a sacred flame as I open it. I'm like, yeah, I've had enough of these Dane cultists.
I
The door
pull
you're
out.
next to is locked. Apparently, this door.
I grab a couple of arrows from my quiver and stab the ordinary ficus plant and move it towards the fire.
Stab it as in attack it, or just shooting an arrow at it?
Not shooting, as in I've got the arrows in hand, but it's like I've got a little bit of a stick range with the arrows to be able to pick them up with. It's kind of like, you know, how you might grab two sticks to pick up something that's
Gotcha.
hot, or
You're not touching it directly, is what you're saying. So you
Yeah.
carefully maneuver it toward the fireplace.
yeah.
Can I say that Thaddeus is moving towards Matthias while he's doing this, just to be safe, so I
You
can
guys
set
are
where I
here
am.
doing that. You hear what sounds like a muffled voice from the southern room. Not from the door to the west, though. From the southern room.
But we don't know where that door is. Yes,
Oh, it's right here. You can see it around the corner. Pharaoh can see it.
I can't see around the corner.
Well, you haven't been around the corner, but you don't see a door to that area. But
All right, same thing. I'm gonna
now.
give a cautious peek around as I hear it. I'll put my finger to my mouth to the others, and then I'll point to that door down south. The sacred flame is prepared, and I'm like, "Be ready." And then I'm gonna try and open it.
Opening the door, you throw it open, and there's a man in here wearing lavender-colored robes. His face is horribly disfigured, like a worm is growing out a part of it. Joe, as you step right there, you see him as well. He's kneeling to the ground, and he's making all these twitching movements, prone, and he screams, He's so heavily disfigured, you can't hardly recognize him. But Pharaoh looks over and recognizes the deformed man that was once his uncle.
The sacred flame goes off.
Oh, it does. And then you can roll initiative because
Pharaoh at this point says to the other two, at this point, I'm fairly sure that my uncle is part of a cult.
You now think this?
Ficus mutters, Kokomar. You swear that
Oh.
Ficus just talked.
All right, so 6. It'll have a dexterity saving throw against, and if it fails, DC 14. It'll be 6.
Also, did I ever manage to get that ficus into the fire?
Oh, it's burning. It's
Okay.
You heard the fire crackle, and you swear you heard the voice say Krakomar in the fireplace. Poor Ficus. It's just an ordinary house plant that's now burning. Go ahead and roll that damage, by the way, Tony. He did fail the save, and then go ahead and roll initiative afterwards.
So 6 sacred flame radiant damage.
6 sacred flame. You burned him, this fellow who is so deformed. It looks like worms are like forming out of his forehead and his arms and fingers. His fingers are turning in worm-like forms. He's beginning this encounter prone. Let me go ahead and set a round counter in here. Apparently with this new system with jump gate, I don't know how to do it yet, but you can actually divide up the map in like the entire map to give people different perspectives. I haven't figured out how to do that yet, but it's got some new and interesting features apparently. Learn little things, new things every day. He rolled terrible for initiative. I rolled a 1 plus his dex mod, and he's prone, and you burned him a little bit. Pharaoh's turn, most ironically, as you look toward that direction, to your disfigured, insane uncle. Earthworms or worm-like things are like falling out of his robes. Like he's got a bunch of worms in his robes. What would you like to do? He's prone in there.
I would like
Flailing.
to pull out my bow and take a shot at him.
You're at disadvantage because he's prone.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
I've
he's
got
got
people
cover.
in the way.
Give it a shot, and maybe you get lucky. We'll see. Give that a shot. Well, you're gonna miss. You shot the door frame over here.
All right.
Wah wah. Anything else from Firo?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a few steps away from the place.
Gotcha. If that's all, it goes to Thaddeus's turn. Again, he's prone, as in he hasn't gotten up yet. He was like kneeling in a praying-like manner, and he's twitching everywhere.
Thaddeus is gonna swear at himself that he shouldn't have used that jump last time, but then continue to move. 5.
So you can make your way through that doorway.
I can't select my character anymore. It's weird. I'm stuck, which is super weird.
Okay, let me move you here. Okay, so that's 10 feet. Oh, from your start right here, that's actually 15 feet to put you right there.
Where did I go? I lost my character. Disappeared.
You're in the room.
You're in the room.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Weird. I couldn't see in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
You moved 15 feet to get into that space.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm leaving the lantern with Matthias. So.
You want me to bring it
right.
for you?
No, it's good. You can say it out there. I'm going to move up here, and then be like, more to Pharaoh than this creature, and be like, I am going to strike you down, and then swing at it with my quarterstaff.
He's muttered Kirkomar through his raspy voice. You have advantage. Go ahead and roll to see if you get.
Well, all right, because he's up.
A crit. Oh, you whack him while he's down. Hit.
For 8 bludgeoning.
Break some ribs of your friend's uncle. But
and then
been places, so he's got a toughish.
I'm gonna bonus action try and kick him over.
Well, he's already prone, but you do
Oh.
kick him right in the stomach as hard as you can. Crit. Hit the crit damage button, by the way.
Right. I know. I was trying to kick him over, even though I knew he was prone. So yeah, 14 bludgeoning damage.
Critting him, kicking him hard in the stomach. He spews some of his lunch. Apparently, it's just more worms out all over the floor, and he's bloodied.
And then we're gonna move over here, so more people. Well, actually, yeah, we move over there. So I get more. I get a little bit more movement, so we move over there so people can take a shot at it too.
Matthias' turn. You get your reaction back. The lantern. You still giving off light with the light spell, I think, but the lantern is beneath you on the floor. If you want to bring it with you, what do I do?
I'll move here.
You want to leave the lantern there?
Yeah, just because I need my hand for my shield and weapon. All right, so once again I raise the war pick high. I'm like, it seems your time on this place is past, my good man. Away with you. And I will try and bash his skull and put in the rest.
The flicker of the torchlight with casting toward him causes his shadow to look huge and vaguely goblinish. For some reason, there's some twist of the light that you swear you almost felt like you saw something that wasn't there, or maybe something that will be eventually. That's weird. You hit, by the way, with a
14
14.
for 7.
7 as you impale his shoulder and leave him badly wounded.
After that, I raise my shield to him. I'm like, go peacefully. You're not of this place anymore. And that'll be all.
He gets up from his the ground there, and he does something. He casts a spell as he summons a spiritual weapon of Kirkomar, and it looks the weapon's going to look kind of whip-like, but it's really like a big worm thing. He's going to target it not on Joe's character, but he's going to on what do you call him?
Like a
Matthias.
worm flail.
Like a worm flail appears in the air. This is a bonus action. For him, it's concentration, by the way. And this thing is going to whip down or whip at you, basically, worm-like. And let me see what it gets. It gets bonus to hits.
Oh, that's right. They turned spiritual weapon to concentration now.
It's concentration unless you're unless you're the war cleric. Then it's not. Then it's not. Sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So they nerfed it a little bit because it was very, very powerful, but
yeah, I have to agree. That's one of the weapons that I saw people like almost. It was an instant take because of how strong it was. I think the concentration was just. A lot of people think it's not justified, but I'm like, yeah.
Wait a second. Okay, he's got a plus to hit. The weapon gets a 14 to hit, which hits your armor. That is his bonus action. He now draws a blade, which he slashes at random, but this time at Thaddeus. You got him on! And critically misses as he swings way too high with this blade of some sort. And it is I guess you'd call it a longsword. Yeah, it's a longsword. He missed horribly. Round 2. Pharaoh's turn. Are you at the table?
Yeah, I moved to on top of the table there.
Okay. It gives you advantage now from height.
Yeah, and
Clear shot.
I'll take another shot with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, you got a clear shot, actually. With advantage. He stares at you with half look of recognition and hatred as you shoot him and hit. You shoot your uncle through the eye, silencing him as he collapses backwards, dead on the ground. The worm-like thing he summoned vanishes a moment later with a popping noise. He's dead.
I think with the number of worm-like things we saw coming out of him, as much as I don't like it, we gotta burn the body.
All kinds of worms come out of his robes and flop to the ground when he dies.
I'll put the sacred flame to the worms. I'll make sure that they don't crawl about in this estate any longer.
Burn them, burn them, burn them. Now he was pretty dangerous as well as like that rug. You each get another 150 XP.
Pharaoh, your uncle was into some weird stuff.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen that.
Yikes.
Well, he's into the great beyond now. Rest in peace with whatever good bits of him there may have been. Although I fear there was none left. I'll bow my head.
Well then,
All
we
right.
have found your uncle at least, and well, it turns out he did come back, or at least he kind of did. If you want to call that coming back from whatever place he went off to.
Yep.
Yikes.
All right. Well, I look at the letter I wrote to him, and I'm like, this isn't needed anymore, and put it into the fireplace.
In the fire it goes. Now, you look at these books on these shelves, most of which look kind of common. You know, some are on pottery, some are on common subjects. You do notice that amongst those books, there's a lavender colored text that looks interesting. Would you like to look at that?
Thaddeus goes over and goes, wait, there's a book that's not about pottery? Not about worms, is it?
You can look at the title if you want.
Yeah, what do I need to do to look at that?
Just read it, basically. I'll put it in here. I'm putting it in the chat here.
Yep.
For sure. And I'll take a knee as I look at the body. What could have possibly persuaded him to be taken by the benign influence of cult?
I don't know, maybe dug in some bad clay.
The lavender colored text is titled The Farthest Reaches, tome about the far realm in the deep ethereal plane. It weighs 3 pounds. It's probably worth about 50 gold. It looks interesting. Now, as we finish up here, you can make each an arcana check concerning that. Thaddeus doesn't know a thing about that, and neither does Pharaoh. Isn't that interesting? And neither does Matthias.
Nobody knows anything.
The book looks like it's worth money. Might be a bookseller at the market.
Thaddeus turns to Pharaoh and he goes, I do agree. I think your uncle just dug up some weird worms at some point.
Yeah, maybe we can go and talk to somebody at the Calligraphers Guild or something like that to figure out what the heck is going on. Or maybe some mage will like this thing.
We should collect the rest of them and set them aflame or return them to the church to see if they have any sightings of something similar elsewhere in the town. I fear for any sighting of a cult, unfortunately, it is almost never singular.
Yeah, Thaddeus is definitely going to produce flame and burn any worms that he sees.
Before also search the body for anything of importance on.
Yeah, check his wares.
Right? Just to see if there's something you missed. Well, he has a longsword on him.
All right.
And a pouch.
Dang, longsword, okay.
The guy got coinage, right? See, he's got
a bag.
Do we have a group loot page set up for us?
There's none in here at the moment.
Okay.
But I have to say, somebody wielding a longsword has definitely got to be very strong. Your uncle is very strong, apparently.
That or it was the worm.
Could be.
So you find on him the longsword, 3 gold coins, all with weird symbols on them of a spiky-haired woman. Coin from Sigil, the city between places, the city of doors, and a silver symbol of a worm-like creature that's worth about 25 gold. Guess what its name might be?
Bob.
Bob was your uncle. No, it wasn't. It's Gilroy. Gilroy Gibbons. Well, guys,
can we melt the silver symbol so it's just a silver bar instead of The
Yeah, it'd be
worm-like
worth about
symbol.
it would be the value of one of those other silver bars, but you could also just sell it if you want. But
That's,
it's it would
yeah.
be worth this. It's worth more because it's a symbol. Well, guys, you've done what you have done here, at least for now. Who knows? Perhaps this isn't the last adventure for these characters. We never know, you know? But for now, here in Greyhawk, you've uncovered a mystery. Maybe stop another mystery. You don't know. Who knows what other mysteries might happen